It's showtime. Say I made simple. I'm Steve ROI Brown. I help leaders. I help companies adopt AI. AI is here. It's not even. It's not even like it's the future. It's here. It's now. And so adopting AI is your secret to success. You know, imagine you're someone that's graduating college at the moment, graduating university. Everything you learned in those classes is out the window. Our world is going to look so different in the next 6 months, the next year, and you're going to be expected. If you were that person, you're going to be expected to be proficient in AI. People are going to want to hire. They're going to want to bring in someone either that's going to help them adopt AI, is excellent at AI, or they're going to employ AI instead of trying to bring you up to speed. If you're a business owner, you're starting to realize this. Employees are expensive. They're hard to find, hard to keep, hard to train. And then when you get a good one, um, yeah, that's a blessing. But to get them to adopt AI is what your next step is going to be. You've got great employees. Now let's relieve them of all the minutia, and let's bring in AI to supplement them and extend their value, extend their lifetime with you, because your customers are expecting you to deliver a great customer experience. They're being trained by all these brands that are adopting AI, and it's just a big competitive advantage. Later, your business is going to look so different. Everything that you're doing now is going to be very different. It's going to be infused in some way with some experience for the customer, for your employees, for your vendors. There's AI going to be baked in the middle of this. And so that's why it's, as a leader, you need to be comfortable and get in this environment and be comfortable. One of the hardest things a leader can do is to communicate clearly what's in their head. The books that you read of the thought leaders that you learn from, they took the time to sit down and download all of these thoughts that are swirling around in their head and get it into a format that's easy to understand, that makes sense, that communicates their unique subject matter expertise. And so this is something that's required of you. It's hard. It's real hard. I wrote a book, and it took a whole year to download my brain, to get it organized and get it into a format and to get it published. But yet, that exercise is something that a leader needs to do almost every single day, if not several times a day. So how do you do it? Well, that's what our topic is today. Because if you can learn how to clearly communicate, then you're the winner. I saw this quote today. That's where this topic comes from. I'm going to share my screen. Here we're coming in to see if I can do this right. There we go. So if you don't know who Marc Andreessen is, I believe he started one of the first internet browsers, and I think it was Netscape. But when I hear him talk about things, it's really excellent, because now his company is they go and they invest in all these new startups. And so a lot of the topics he talks about is what are the common themes in a successful startup, in a successful business. And these are things that as leaders we can draw from. He has a statement here that the person who writes down the thing has tremendous power. David Perel, I believe, interviewed him. I'm gonna run this clip, or actually, let's do this. I gotta share this particular window so you can hear the sound. Look at me, man. I'm starting to be all proficient with my technology. Share. We got to do the we got to do the tab. I think you can hear. Here we go. So listen to this. This is cool.
Well, by the way, one of the things I've observed, it's the kind of thing where I feel like everybody knows this, and yet very few people actually act on it, or maybe people don't know it, which is like the person who writes down the thing has tremendous power. Independent of their actual formal role in an organization or in the world, there are so few people who will just like write down the thing. One of the ways you find like the up and comers at a tech company is just like, okay, who wrote down the plan? And that doesn't mean they came up with everything, and that doesn't mean that they had all the ideas, but like they're actually able to organize their thoughts and actually have the energy and the motivation, the skill to be able to communicate it in a written form.
So I think that's excellent. I think that one of the things that I struggle with, I talk to my team. I have a great team, and I'll tell them something, and then later I'll revisit that, and it didn't sink in. And we all heard this thing: you have to tell people 7 times before they hear you. And so there's this power in clearly communicating what your expectations are. And a leader has this vision, and that's what makes a company valuable, is that the leader had this vision and implemented this vision and actually got people to buy in to become employees, people to buy in to be customers, and they all kind of saw the same thing in some way that a leader originally saw, and they just stayed on the plan and did the work, and it came to fruition. And so when as a leader, every day we have to like clearly communicate. So where this is leading is, that's what custom GPT or using GPT, whether it's Chat GPT or other tools like Gemini or Grok. So let's look at this. I'm going to share the screen again. Do this. All right. Another Ryan Peterman, he mentions that quote, but he really illustrates right here that the benefits of writing down a plan and sharing it, it improves your thinking. It does. It forces your thoughts into a coherent, logical narrative. But that's where your leadership comes in. It builds alignment with your team. All your team want to follow you. But if you think that everyone is rowing to the same point on the horizon, it's not true. If you go and poll your team and ask them, something that you think is clear, you're going to get different answers. It's not that they don't want to. In most cases, they sincerely want to do it. But you as a leader have fallen short to clearly define what's the point on the horizon. And then this also increases your visibility. So let's say you're not a leader, but you're the one helping create the plan. You're doing this hard work, but there's this power, this thing that's coming from you just taking the time to help clarify things. It can be really powerful. Paul Graham calls it a superpower. It's a superpower to be interested in important things that most other people find boring. They'll do them out of duty if they do them at all. So if you do them out of genuine interest, you get a lot further. And it's just illustrating the point and the power of clearly communicating, just writing down a plan. And so this is what we're talking about today. So how, as a leader, can you use a GPT to get your vision to help you pick up velocity, right? So your GPT-as-Leadership-Lever moment. So there's a little format to use this. And I use this tool called Gemini to help. Let's get this going. So let's just zoom in right here. So how can we use a GPT to do this? So the first thing I think is very powerful is called a brain dump. And when you're in ChatGPT, for example, you see this little button right here, this voice mode. It's amazing. You don't need to type. I think typing kills the flow. And so if you can just do a brain dump of what you're thinking and just go, here's my goal. Here's what I'm concerned about. And I don't know what to expect here, but these are the people I want to follow, or to be clear about what the expectations are. And then here's some of the hurdles. And so you're just dumping this in by recording it. And it's messy and it's unstructured. And that's okay. That's what the power of an LLM, that's where it shines. And so what now you're going to go, all right, here's what I'm thinking, and here's what I want you to do. Help me create some objectives here. Help me, these are the results I want to come out of this. And here's the timeline, and here's the people that are going to be involved. And so it's going to go and clearly craft an impressive outline. This is what leaders, you think of, I wished I had an executive assistant. This is what you hand off to an executive assistant. But do you know how long it takes an executive assistant to get up to speed and read your mind? It takes a long time. And this is what they do, and a great executive assistant does it. But this is how you can get that power immediately. Then you can go, all right, now I want you to draft. I want you to produce a one-page plan based on this structure, and also generate a 5-bullet executive summary. And that's now all of a sudden we have this nice, clear map and the steps we're going to take. Then you can go, all right, now I want to challenge this. So ask it to go, list out the top 5 objections I'm not thinking. There are so many times that I've developed a plan and presented it thinking that everybody would get it, and I'm surprised by the questions that people ask. It's like, oh, I wasn't clear. And so this can help you work through that process. And so it can be that it can help you kind of get your reps in on what are the hurdles I'm attempting here. Oh, I thought it. So many times I've given a plan and think what it's going to look like in the end. It becomes something very different because someone adds a perspective that's extremely valuable that I didn't think of. And truthfully, that's what I need. I need someone, but you got to do the pre-work. You got to do the pre-work, and so that people can come in and edit, not create. And then to ship it, just ask it like, all right, based on the refined plan, generate a shareable memo and a separate action checklist. So this is so easy to do. It's a great exercise. It's a leadership exercise. And the ChatGPT just walks you through this sprint. And so let's do that. This is a prompt that you would use. And let's go on to ChatGPT and let's start this. So let's put this prompt in, and now it's going to ask me, what is it that I'm wanting to do? So it's wanting like my goal in one sentence. So let's just play like this. Let's go. Hey, help me create a class for a group of leaders who are wanting to implement AI with a small executive team, but because they're not super confident with AI yet, they need a little help. So help me design a little class around that. So there's my sentence or several sentences, and let's see what this is going to pop out. All right. So now we're looking at, and this is just an off-the-shelf GPT-5, and it's already lined this out. We've got a 1-day workshop. Well, I was thinking more of a 1 hour, but I can come in here and tell it, yeah. So actually I was wanting, let's make this just a 1 hour workshop. So we're already pivoting, and this is, but see how it helps me collect my thoughts, get organized in a structure, even has a timeline, and will help me work through all of these items. It's a big lever. And so just for the 30 minutes that I would spend going back and forth and getting this in a presentable fashion to present to my team is going to make me more effective. It's going to make me more clear. And so that's the beauty of this comment that Marc Andreessen is saying, is that the person who writes down a thing has tremendous power. And here you have this amazing executive assistant to help you be clear, help you be pithy and to the point, and communicate your plan clearly. And so one of the tools I wanted to show you today, so I'm going to stop sharing. See if I can get this. Now I'm going to share where you can hear. So Gemini came out with this beautiful tool called Storyboard. And I think we're in the right place. So this will also share the sound. So, what me and my team do, we help our customers clearly communicate their value to their end user. And in Gemini now, they have this thing called Storybook. So in Storybook, you can create actual stories about some aspect of an experience. So, for example, one of our clients, they're barefoot cowboy. It's a charter yacht in the Virgin Islands, in the British Virgin Islands, and they have a dog named Pete. They call him First Mate Pete. And so I asked this to write a little story about that. Now think about it. Big brands bring in a whole team to produce a story that resonates with their audience and builds an emotional connection. A storybook, that's how we all started as little kids, really getting connected with the folks that read the books with us and what we learned, and created this imagination. And so imagine having a way to show a brand's emotional connection from the perspective, in this case, of First Mate Pete. But for today, the story I wrote or created for you is The Woman Who Wrote It Down. So here we go. So The Woman Who Wrote It Down.
In the town of Oakhaven, the once lovely Central Park was a tangle of weeds and forgotten benches. At the town library, a quiet woman named Concilia watched her community struggle, their good intentions lost in a fog of disorganization. At the monthly town hall meeting, voices clashed like cymbals in an orchestra with no conductor.
One of the most powerful things that you can do as a leader is know how to create a story. You notice that at this moment, if you're watching, you actually, everything turned off and you dove into this story. You're really focused on this story. Our brains crave information in the form of a story. And so one of the most powerful levers that I think Google Gemini has is in its story, the empathy that it's able to demonstrate. Look at this. It's got this mayor. Look at the emotion on the face. This mayor's just having to lead, but everybody has these different visions for this. And here we met our hero of the story, and she's noticed that she needs to do something. But I just think this is just a beautiful lever and clearly communicating a vision. Imagine you starting a meeting with a little story that connects why this is important. What's at stake with this initiative that you're presenting? This is a beautiful way to do it. The people that we appreciate that clearly communicate do this naturally. And oftentimes as leaders, maybe that's not our natural strength, but this is a way for it to be a strength with you just saying, hey, this is what I want to do, and letting this beautiful executive assistant not only write the story for you, it narrates the story and produces these beautiful images that clearly communicate and make the point powerful in our brains. And listen a little bit more here.
That night, Concilia couldn't sleep. The noise of the meeting still echoed in her mind. She sat at her small wooden desk, took out a pen, and began to write. She wasn't the mayor or a council member, but she was a person with a pen. And that was a special kind of power. That she wrote down the thing.
And so the amazing power that she has is the pen. The amazing power that you have now is a GPT.
She wrote down the thing. She untangled the threads of conversation, weaving them into a single, strong rope. Vague wishes became concrete steps. Fix the fountain. Plant a community garden. Organize a volunteer.
And so this is what a GPT will do for you in seconds. You don't have to wait till that night and spend all night writing this. You can do this in seconds. You can print a plan. You can even have it illustrated. But the point of this story is it creates unity and a vision, and it helps the community as a whole. And this is what's powerful about this. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And what they're drawn to is a leader that can clearly communicate the vision that they can get behind. It creates unity. It's persuasive and it's powerful. And that's what a GPT can do for you. It's amazing. Well, I help my clients do this all the time. We create custom GPTs and we get their subject matter expertise downloaded. We get it designed in a custom GPT that is already up to speed. It's a PhD that you just hired that in just a day knows all of your business, all of your services, about your customers and what you do, and can help you clearly communicate your plan, your vision, and get you to the place where you want to go.
And so the work began. The park bloomed again, not just with flowers, but with the energy of a community that had found its way. Concilia was there.
So you can deliver the energy of your community and help it find its way. I'm Steve ROI Brown. This is AI Made Simple. You can do this. This is the best thing. Get a GPT, get to playing around with it. Let's get a little music going as I'm stepping out. Go to roionline.com. You can schedule a time with me. Let's talk about your custom GPT. Let's set you up for success in communicating powerfully, persuasively, and clearly. We'll see you next week on AI Made Simple.